So you're planning or thinking about taking a trip to East Africa, so that's Kenya, Tanzania, Rwanda, Uganda, any of those places. Well, that's where we went for our honeymoon. So in this video, I'm gonna break down everything about our trip, including what we brought, what we wore, what we ate, including my wife who's a gluten-free vegan, my camera equipment, all that stuff. Of course, you'll see my videos and photos. This will essentially be everything that you'd wanna know now before you hop on the plane. So you're invited to our East African honeymoon holiday. Booking your safari tour company. Plan your dates and book early. Our wedding was July 13th and we left July 16th. After doing a ton of YouTube research, I discovered Jeff Heyer, who has tons of great informative videos about safaris in East Africa. Shout out to Jeff. I highly recommend you go watch his videos before you go on your trip. In a few of his videos, he mentions Gorilla O'Clock as a recommended tour company. Noted. We wanted to do 3 things. Safari in Masai Mara in Kenya, safari in Serengeti in Tanzania, and gorilla trekking in Uganda. We decided on 15 days. Having a rough plan, you can send out inquiries to tour companies, but one company just said, okay, we can do it, which is who we booked with, and that's Gorilla O'Clock. They're very responsive, and they work with you to figure out exactly what you want to do, and they just make it work, they make it happen. So I can't recommend them enough. Shout out to Paul at Gorilla O'Clock. Tell them Drug Free Dave sent you if you do book with them.
How much all this gonna cost?
Too much.
So safaris are expensive. Expect to pay about $1,000 to $2,000 a day for your trip. Yes, a day. Now that doesn't mean that like you'll go on the trip and then you'll be spending $1,000. You're getting a package. So if you have 10 days, it's probably gonna be around $10,000 to $12,000. It's just a lot of money. So $1,000 to $2,000 a day for your trip, not including your flights to and from Africa. Of course, that's going to be kind of expensive, but you just want to get that done as soon as possible, and you can sort of emotionally forget about it. Hospitality for the places that we went was really great, and they're really depending on tips. So you want to have small bills, 1s and 5s to tips, and you're also going to get your visas. My advice would be to get any visa that you might need for any country, figure out where you're going, figure out which country borders you're going to be crossing, how you're going to be crossing them. You don't want to have to be worrying about that. It's just annoying. Just get it ahead of time, trust me. So our down payment was the gorilla trekking permits in Uganda. That's $700 per person.
He did not just, did you just say that?
It's double that in Rwanda. So we did the less expensive one, but it was fantastic. Your tour company is gonna get that for you. So make sure you get on that early. We did a lot of driving. That's really part of the adventure. So we didn't mind that. We didn't mind the driving. You can see the country, you can see a little bit of the cities. We also decided on the safari truck rather than the safari van, just because it's badass.
They got mosquitoes that suck your blood like Slurpees.
You do need a yellow fever vaccination. We managed to get ours at Costco in New Jersey. You buy the $35 immunization bundle online, and then you set up an appointment, and then you can go to the Costco and get it. My insurance actually covered mine. Sarah's didn't. It's less expensive to do it through Costco. Either way, whether you have insurance or not. Back of the arm is just a pinch, not painful. And also the yellow fever shot is good for life. You want to make sure you get your yellow little pamphlet that comes with it. Just stick it in your passport so you'll have it, you'll need it. So we flew Kenya Airways out of JFK for about $1,300 a ticket. No wheels, no checked bags. All of our bags were carry-on. Sarah had a Cotopaxi 42-liter Alpa travel backpack and a carry bag. So she was able to fit her 42-liter also in the overhead bin. And my 50-liter fit in the overhead bin. So back to flights, we flew Kenya Air. Sarah was adamant about getting the Honeymoon upgrade, and she did it. I was very surprised. I didn't think this happened to like normal people. I must say, what a start to the trip. I've never actually flew business before, so this was a real treat for me. 14 hours from JFK and my first time in business class. I didn't think it actually happened to normal people. So remember, it never hurts to ask. We landed in Nairobi, and after leaving the airport, we met our tour company rep, Lillian. She was really great, who brought us to our driver, Simon. So it's one of those things where you leave the airport and they have the little sign for you. So that was cool. The journey has begun. So the first stop was the Tamarind Tree Hotel in Nairobi. It's about 25 minutes away from the airport. And this was just kind of a rest, recuperation stop. The next day we have scheduled the Sheldrick elephants. So we're going to check out the elephant orphanage, the giraffe center, and then we're going to do our first game drive in Nairobi National Park, which is right inside the city. The next day we visited Nairobi National Park, and although it's right in the middle of the city, it's big. It's a legit national park. It's weird being in a city and then all of a sudden you're just in like a huge, legit safari looking place. It's kind of interesting, and it's a great way to ease into that safari lifestyle you'll be living out for the next week or two. I didn't realize how cool giraffes were. There's something about when they come close to the truck and you see how massive they are. I'm pretty sure they're aliens. It's bro science, but I'm pretty sure about it. All right, so Sheldrick. Sheldrick is pretty much a must. It's quite muddy. It was a little drizzly when we went, so it was very, very muddy. And it drizzled the whole time, so wear long pants and have a rain jacket or something handy, just in case it does start to sprinkle or it does start to rain. You'll learn about the elephants, their rehabilitation and individual stories, and also meet a few of their tiny rhino residents, which were absolutely adorable. I would definitely recommend, but the feeding is quite short, so you want to have some other things planned for the day. You'll go in and hang out for like an hour, but that's it. So there's not really much you can do. There wasn't a gift shop or anything. Actually, I don't think there was any restrooms either. There might have been, maybe I missed them, but we didn't see any restrooms. So next we went to the giraffe center. It wasn't really our vibe, but if you have younger kids, they'll have a great time feeding the giraffes. We'd most likely skip the giraffe center the next time though, to be honest. So this was like a common theme no matter where we went. The kids all know the safari vehicles and they just love to wave and they just look so happy to wave, and it was just really cute and really fun. So it is night 3. We're staying at Lake Nakuru in the Flamingo Hill Camp, and let's take a look at what it looks.
We're staying at the Flamingo Hill Camp in Lake Nakuru. Okay, so this is night 3. We're staying at the Flamingo Hill Camp at Lake Nakuru National Park.
Let's go see what it looks like. Can't bring some people in here. There's our king-size bed. Lights, we have our little bag stands. That's the big camera. And we have our little bathroom space. Got a little shower. It's all netted above. Toilet. We go to lunch soon, and then we will go for our game drive here in Lake Nakuru.
I saw it already.
All right, where are we?
I don't know. Sarovna?
So we got an amazing upgrade for our first 2 days in the Masai Mara. We stayed at Sarova Mara Game Camp, which was absolutely beautiful.
So we just arrived to Sarova Mara Game Camp in Masai Mara.
That's good. We're number 12. Let's go. We're not redoing. This is our tent. Apparently that's one of my favorite things to say. This is our tent. This is our tent. This place was super nice and super clean. And also shout out to Daisy in the kitchen. She really took care of both Sarah and I. I know you can't wait to get into your robe. This is our tent bathroom. Very beautiful. We always use drinking water to brush our teeth and to drink. So we're here for 2 nights, and we go on our game drive here in Masai Mara at 4 o'clock. You happy?
Very happy.
Hold on to your butts.
But it's about to get real.
poachers will come and clean everything.
So we only stayed at Marisopa for one night, but one of the really cool things about this location is the resident zebras that hang out right in front of the rooms.
Only the murmuring breeze.
When do we eat?
Packed lunch is a normal thing, so you'll be able to get your lunch packed, and in most cases you can get your breakfast packed as well if you don't want to eat at 6 a.m. or 6:30 a.m. So this is pretty much standard in our case. Breakfast and lunch were usually packed for us because we like to eat our breakfast at like 9 or 10. So we just eat in the truck whenever we got hungry. Sarah's a vegan, so not only did we inform our tour company, Gorilla O'Clock, that she was a vegan and gluten-free and all her dietary needs, you can just speak to the chef. Just ask to speak to the chefs. They'll come out. They're very nice, and usually they're very accommodating. And usually the chefs will understand vegan. They'll understand the food thing. Sometimes not all the workers are as hip to the intricacies of being a vegan. And she was able to eat at all the locations, and they were mostly prepared for her dietary needs because we have a great tour company. So they made sure to let them know that they had plant-based milk and things like that because she needs that for her coffee. As long as you communicate your needs, it seems that they're very happy to find something or create something that you can eat. It was a huge relief, as being gluten-free and vegan isn't as common here, obviously, but the main chefs at all locations were great with working with her and just making sure she was taken care of. So we just got to our tent in the middle of the Serengeti, and it's literally in the middle of the Serengeti. We have a little shoebox, so we have to take our shoes off. So let's do this. And then we unzip. Here's the bed. Here's our deck. And we literally have to have an escort at night because there's animals out here, obviously. And what's interesting is you can see the fire. They've been lighting some of the area on fire to promote new growth. There's a shower. And there's the toilet. There's Sarah. So in my research, this seems to be an African pygmy dormouse. It was actually super cute. Sarah slept through the whole thing. I had to move a bunch of stuff into cabinets. I had the lights on. Sarah slept through the whole entire debacle when I was trying to battle this little guy so he couldn't eat any of the food we had out. Don't leave your food out when you're in the middle of Serengeti, because they will come get your food, or anything that smells like food, really. And also, I don't know that much about infrared light, but I felt like I figured if I put the red light on, he might just come out and not be able to see the red light too well. And it seemed like it worked, actually.
Look at that little rascal go.
So one of the other things you will definitely experience here is a birthday happening, and they take their birthday celebrations serious, but none more serious than Signature Serengeti. This song actually went on for around 7 minutes, and I stopped recording, and then I actually started recording again because they kept going. Literally, it was about 8 to 9 minute birthday celebration. They march around and you don't know whose birthday it is. You don't know where they're going to. They just march around with the cake and dance and sing. It's very joyous. It's very joyful. And I'm just going to play a little bit because because it's 7 minutes long. So here's a little bit of it.
He's kidding, right?
He's not kidding.
This is like the coolest thing I've ever seen.
Well, they are half man, half machine.
So you thought I was kidding when I told you that it goes on forever. Legend has it that they're still singing this birthday celebration to this day.
To this day! To this day!
So it's time to say goodbye to Signature Serengeti. We had a great time there. The staff was amazing. Time to say goodbye to Serengeti National Park and head to Ngorogoro Crater. There is the occasional traffic jam as well. You'll often see the Masai people shepherding their cattle, goats, cows, wearing their traditional colors, the shukas, which are the coverings that you'll see all the Masai tribesmen and tribeswomen wearing. The Ngorogoro Crater is actually a caldera. You'll learn all about it when you get to the lookout post. So one of the really cool things that we saw when we got down into the crater was this group of lions who had a bunch of zebras on their radar. The zebras got a little close to the lions, and there was one or two of them that were sort of singled out, and they didn't realize that the lions were there. But what was interesting is that I think there were a bunch of young male lions and maybe one lioness, and one of them started to stalk the zebras. And once they get in that position and they start stalking, and you have the chance to kind of see them do their thing, there's an electricity in the air, and it's like you just kind of hold your breath and you're watching because you don't know when this thing might jump and then you're watching a chase. It didn't wind up happening, but still fun to see the lions kind of get in that mode, getting the hunting mode. But the zebras were a little too smart for the lions, so we didn't get to see a chase. So after our game drive, we pulled over to ask a friendly zebra how to get to the Marera Valley Lodge. And we headed off. It was time for more African massage. African massage is the name they give the roads, the dirt roads. It is like a massage. It's intense. And we endured hours and hours of African massage. Okay, we're only here for one night, but really pretty. We have our little bathroom. Sarah's cleaning her jacket. It's a mess. They said they would come light a fire if we wanted. Snacks. And we have to get ready in 20 minutes for dinner. So the next morning we were up bright and early to head back to Kenya to visit Amboseli National Park, the home of the elephants. Okay, so this is our lodge at Amboseli Sopa. We have a nice little outdoor area. The grounds are really, really nice. We're number 49. There's Sarah. So we have a little nook. I feel like this used to be a kitchen or something. Some goodies. We have the bed, we have our little fireplace, big fireplace I should say. Bug net, they'll put that down when we go to dinner. Washroom. But time for dinner in about, oh, I guess we can go to dinner, what is it, 7:30? 6:45. Boom. So the next morning we headed off to Nairobi for our flight to Kigali. From Kigali, we're staying one night, and then we drive to Uganda for our gorilla trekking adventure.
I fell back to sleep. My alarm went off and then he woke me up like 45 minutes later.
So over the last few days, I noticed that my fingers started to get a bit swollen. I was hoping that it would get better, but once we landed in Kigali, it definitely wasn't getting better, it was getting worse. So I knew that I was gonna have to take matters into my own hands and figure out how to relieve some of the pain. I'm gonna add another warning here because this is kind of gross, so look away if you're squeamish.
Broken, sagging, pitiful creature, squeezing and squeezing.
So that's one way to start your morning. Shout out to Tessa Davis on YouTube for helping me out through that one. Our wonderful guy Dan brought me to a random pharmacy in Rwanda, and I got some antibiotic cream for my finger, so then we could start our long drive down to Bwindi Impenetrable Forest in Uganda, so we could get started with our gorilla trekking adventure. So after a quick bathroom break at this cute little cafe, Gorilla Highlands Coffee, we made our way down to Ichumbi Gorilla Lodge. We're at the Ichumba Gorilla Lodge, is that right?
Yes.
In
Bwindi, Uganda.
So we really enjoyed this lodge. The food was great, the staff were really great and friendly, and also it just had this great kind of treehouse feel. It was very sort of remote, not many tourists, which is really our vibe, monkeys outside the window. So we had an early start the next morning for our gorilla trekking. It started off with an early breakfast and then...
And now we must follow the gorillas.
Our beloved visitors, we thank you once again very much for loving Bwindi and for loving this community to be a place of your tour. And we also thank you for watching Okutenga Tenga once again. This marks the end of the performance of today, and we wish you a safe journey when you're trekking and when you are going back home. Thank you very much. May God bless you.